Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I have a great opportunity to talk to these guys. Seven figure out of Richmond, Virginia, family owned and operated for the last 5 years. Rossetti Hardscape, and I have the founders with me right now. So tell me, guys, how did it all start for you guys?
Go ahead, Raphael. Take the stage.
Yeah, so it pretty much started with me and Abram kind of growing up. My dad, he's been doing this for a long time, and he worked for someone else. So kind of growing up in high school, not in high school, I think it was even middle school, right, Abram? Would you say middle school?
Eighth
Maybe
grade.
Yeah.
possibly even elementary school. We were already kind of around those job sites, and during the summer, he would take us sometimes just to go help him work or whatever. His boss would let him, hey, come take your sons, whatever. So we kind of grew up, already around the job sites during the summertime, and then kind of transitioning out of high school. Me and Abraham, I kind of started buying a lot of courses, a lot of self education, e-commerce, social media marketing, a little bit of everything. I kind of wanted to do something on my own, and then I created a t-shirt company, a t-shirt website, a
Classic.
Shopify website, and then because I put my brother's ID because mine was expired at the time, and then something had happened and they shut my website down just because they thought it was suspicious. So I pivoted and I was like, hey dad, why don't I find you clients? Like what if I got you the clients? Like would you want to do something? And he was like, yeah, go ahead, find the clients and we'll make it happen. And so I was 18, 19 at the time, and Abram, he was what were you doing at the time, Abram?
Yeah, I was 20 years old. I was working in the restaurant business.
Hmm.
I was a waiter, and then I was also attending. Not sure if you guys are familiar with Amway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So my mom was deeply into that, and she would always drag me on to the events and stuff. So slowly and slowly, I started kind of getting around that atmosphere of entrepreneurship and self-development. And kind of at that time, I also had another goal of mine to make music, right? But that I kind of saw the possibilities of that like very, very slim,
Yeah.
right? So that quickly, I didn't really pursue that as far, but I always knew I wanted to be, I always knew I wanted to work for myself, right? Especially after, getting that educational system from Amway, because that's all basically they teach you, right? Entrepreneurship. They get you listening to podcasts, reading books,
Sure.
So when my brother came up to me and my dad was like, hey, why don't we all get together and why don't we start the business? Like, me and Abraham, we know the language, the skill. Let's do this. And we were all like, we sat down and we were like, okay. And I remember my dad's biggest fear was like, do you know once you start this, you're gonna have to hire employees, you're gonna have to have jobs for them full time. Like, this is not something you play with. And we are like, yeah, yeah, we understand. So, this was 2019 when we started. The first year, it was basically just me, my brother, and my dad, taking on small jobs and kind of just working off of a F-150 truck, and just making it happen, having all the tools in the back of the pickup truck. After that first year, we did learn, quite a lot, right? We were fairly young, right? I was 20, my brother was 18. We were going to the supply stores, and the reps there, they were always like, you guys are so young, like, you know and they told us for a long time, you guys are the youngest contractors that we've had here, like, come to the supply store. So it was pretty nice to know that we were on the right path for being at a very young age. So 2020 comes around, we officially kind of get things rolling, get our first employee, and that's kind of when COVID hit.
Mm.
And when that hit, dude, we took off because we were just, all we could really do was work,
Yeah.
right? Everything was shut down. We were working, coming home, working on estimates, working the next day. So all that money that we also were making, we were just keeping it within us three basically.
So you're reinvesting
And
it back into the company.
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
during that time, especially, there was a lot of homeowners that they couldn't go anywhere besides their house. So they kind of saw that opportunity to expand their backyard. Like literally all the clients we went to go see, they're like, well, I can't go nowhere, so I might as well do something with the backyard. Like literally every single client said the same thing. So COVID, it helped us a ton, I would
Yeah.
say. But now you kind of see that it's not as crazy as COVID, but I think if you have the proper marketing, then I think you're still going to be somewhat healthy business.
So COVID. Sorry. I know you want to kind of get the whole gist of the history, right?
I mean,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
So like COVID hit, we started, reinvesting, and slowly and slowly we started purchasing material. I mean, equipment for one of the trailers, the dump trailers. Like I put my personal credit on there. My brother at the time hadn't even started his credit, and I was like, dude, like I got to get you on. So I did a personally, what is it called, the authorization.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got him on quickly within like 2 to 3 months. He got his credit up because I passed on my history to him.
Nice.
And from there, we just started, buying equipment, buying trailers, buying this, attending whatever event that me and Rafi could really get our hands on. Um, and just to be honest, I mean, it was kind of hard because you didn't see as many as like gurus or mentors that you see now. Like
Mm-hmm.
now they're all over the place, right? People are like, let me teach you how to, make $5 million in your landscaping business, right? So at that time, it was just a lot of like either YouTube videos or just learning things the hard way, right?
Hmm.
So that kind of just, that year, it really did help us really improve. And, mine and Raphael's strategy, to be honest, was like Google reviews. That was like really crystal clear to us, is like us as a new business, people are not going to really trust you unless they see something as strong as Google reviews, right? Because you go somewhere and you're like, you go to a new city and you're like, okay, well, let's go to a restaurant. What's the first thing you do? You go on Google Maps and you look at restaurants and you look at the reviews, right?
Yep.
So me and Rafael just focused on that. We're just, giving the best customer service, providing the highest quality workmanship, just making sure that that was in the back of our head, that as soon as we got done with the project, we're like, hey, Philip, do you mind giving us a 5-star, mind
Yeah.
giving us a review, see how we did? So right now we're at what, Rafi, 135 5-star reviews?
I see.
No,
I
like
just looked it up.
115.
115.
115.
I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
Which is solid.
So that's helped us out tremendously with our organic leads as well, right?
Yeah.
But ever since that time till now, it's just been grinding it out, and slowly and slowly implementing new systems and processes. And um, me and my brother now do basically 90% sales now.
Hmm.
The other 10% we're doing project managing. For the longest time, obviously as a business owner, you wear multiple hats, right?
Yep.
Marketing, making videos, editing. So that's kind of how we're like where we're at now, right? We got one crew outside. We're trying to go for the second crew. Uh, we got an office staff right now who picks up all the calls, does all the boring work in terms of scheduling clients up and following up with them and stuff like that. So that's kind of our story right there.
Are you guys 100% construction, like hardscaping, or do you do maintenance as well?
Nope, no maintenance.
No maintenance. Okay. And you said you have one crew, or how many crews do you have currently?
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
Yeah, we
Nice.
we have one crew, but man, these guys are efficient, like really, really efficient.
Crew
They'll
of two
bring
or
out
crew of three?
4 people.
Four. Okay, that's a big crew. Yeah.
4 people. And me and Abram did numbers. Like once you start adding a crew, it really adds on to your profits. Like right
Oh, yeah.
now, our overhead, if we add on another crew, it's gonna minimize our overhead by half. It's gonna cut it by half, and then our profits are just gonna go up double. So we're looking at heading next year 400K net profit with adding a second crew.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard this year because a lot of that overhead is being eaten up, but it's kind of like that growth period. You're going up, and then you kind of hit this weird time, and then only a matter of fact that you're going to go back up again. So we know
Yeah.
where we're at right now, but we're trying to push through it, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, it's the age-old question of like, do you hire ahead of growth or behind growth, right? So you're either always like behind and trying to catch up, and things are like, like the systems break down, which is not always the best customer service, or you stay ahead of it and you kind of take it on the chin a little bit with the profit, but your service is solid because you have more people than you actually need, but you're preparing for the growth. You kind of got to
Correct.
pick one.
Correct. So the way we're kind of looking at it now is, well, in order to get two teams, we gotta have double the work, right? And for our type of work, it's like it takes a while to close a project, especially the bigger projects, right?
What's
You
your
know,
sales cycle?
what's our sales cycle?
Mm-hmm.
So, once a lead goes into our website and they fill out the form, my assistant reaches out to them, sets an on-site consultation. We'll go out there. Usually takes about a week to 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks right now in our you know, busy period to go out there and see a client.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there, take a look at what they got, and usually takes around a week to kind of get back with them on an estimate. Depending on the size of the project, right? Sometimes homeowners are pretty quick on deciding what they want to do. But when it comes to these bigger projects, it does kind of drag out sometimes to like a month, 2 months before they close,
Yeah.
right? So once you kind of start having a bunch of big projects, you're no longer closing as quickly as you are, the smaller projects, right? And I don't know, and Rafi, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the times we have 2.5 months booked out or 2 months booked out of work, and in a blink of an eye, a month already went by, and you're like, snap, I only have a month and a half now or a month, right? So time for us, I don't know, I feel like it goes by so quick, and our crew is just like my brother said, they're efficient. Like every other contractor that has seen our crew work, they're like, holy smoke, like they work quick and they work good, right? Because my father has about probably pushing 23 years now of experience,
Mm-hmm.
and we managed to hire another. It was a longtime friend of my father's, who also has close to 20 years of experience. So with them two having that much of experience, and then just adding a third one that has somewhat of an experience, and then fourth labor. Right now our crew out there, they're banging out projects quick. So that also kind of puts the pressure on the sales part, right? It's like, damn, these guys are moving quick. We got to catch up, right?
Yeah.
But definitely that's kind of the way we see it right now. Is okay. Well, once we get to that comfortable position of like, okay, we know we have 2 months of work. Let's start scheduling out quick what our second team's going to start working on, right? That's kind of the point we're at now. But entering winter season right now is going to be a little harder as work kind of slows down. But definitely next year, I definitely do see the two teams up and running.
Will you split the crew you have now, or would you just add on another crew separately, or like will you take the two top guys and split them off as foremen, or what's your plan for that?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to be splitting our foremans just
Mm-hmm.
because, unless we find another foreman who's good,
Mm-hmm.
because our second guy right now, he knows he knows his skills, but he's not a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, like he has told us personally, he's like, I just don't like telling the guys what to do. I feel like I'm bossing them around, right? I don't want to look like a jerk. I don't want to look like that type of guy. And we tell him, we're like, well, you're the foreman here. Like, they kind of rely on you to tell them, kind of like guide them. Like this is the next steps. This is the next steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question. I don't know. I think it's just gonna have to be if we find the correct foreman, then we will definitely put him to lead the second crew, and we'll leave our current one on team A.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the winter months that you guys have less work, how are you guys doing your marketing? Are you guys running ads, or are you guys strictly just doing Google Google reviews to be your only source of ad generation or lead generations.
Yeah, during the winter months, you usually just cut down on the spend. You don't want to. We don't pause any of our ads because it just kind of kills it from growing.
Yeah.
Then when springtime comes back around, then we would just kind of throw more money at the ads, but they're still alive.
You're throwing what, Google ads, or are you doing Facebook ads? What do you got?
Google ads and Facebook ads. Me and Abram, we started doing some yard signs. Really, all the leads, it kind of, it's a whole circle, right? You got to make sure you're getting referral work. Referral work is one of your best friends, right?
Yep.
The second one is going to be Google. That's our second strongest. And then I would say
Google organic or Google paid.
Google organic.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Google paid. Google is very, very intentional with the type of leads that come in. They're very intentional with when they're ready to go, basically.
Yeah.
They're giving us a call and they're like, hey, like I need a patio.
Get here
now.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then repeat and referral, those are the ones that are going to trust you the most because, they're getting referred by their friends, by their family. So they're like, they already see the work that we've done. Sometimes they're coming over for a party or for, some sort of gathering. And so they see our work and they're like, oh, who did the patio? How was your experience with Rossetti? So we get a lot of that. And so we've seen that we've had a good amount of leads from referral the past year right now, recently. Before, not as much because we're kind of starting, growing. But now it's like it's almost like it's stacking. And I think with more time, we're going to see more and more repeat and referral.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I've noticed that your guys' social media, especially on Instagram, is pretty great. Like, how much time and effort do you guys put in social media, like your Instagram, your Facebook, and like with that time committed to social media, does that also generate a lot of potential leads for you? Does it build a lot of authority? What's your guys' thought on that?
Yeah. So, in the beginning, I was doing a little bit more of the video recordings. I had bought a drone.
Yeah.
I was more hands-on on the recording part, but it got to the point where it was just too much. It was too time consuming. So we hired this photographer, videographer, and he started doing a lot of our photo shoots. He'll go out to the projects and stuff.
How frequently is he going to these?
Not as frequently. He would go out, I don't know, two times a month.
Okay. Yeah, that's still a lot.
Yeah, because he would only go out basically to the projects that we had already completed. So he would book out, like 3 projects or 2 projects to go shoot on 1 week, and then he would edit them, shoot them over to us, and we would post them up. So we didn't have him full time, right? So we would only call him up whenever we needed him, right? But a lot of the hands-on was me and Raphael, just kind of going on there and making sure we're, trying to upload stories constantly.
Yeah.
But as we kind of started growing, we're like, our main time was kind of going more into building systems and processes, on the sales, on the project managing.
Yeah.
So recently we did hire a marketing, someone who's going to be doing a lot of the photography and marketing. But that didn't go as planned. And we kind of had to let him go right now, but in the future, definitely we do want to hire someone to fully 100% take over that, because to be honest, we're not as productive or active as we should be, because the time period that we were really active, we noticed people were DMing us on Instagram, and we were getting a few leads on there. And we realized we're like...
Was it mostly organic that you're doing, or were you like boosting these or putting some money behind them?
No, never really did boost. A few times, not as much though. But we saw that it was mainly organic. Facebook, to be honest, we're lacking on that. We need to do a lot much more on Facebook. But Instagram right now is our...
I want to say, where me and Abram really put our focus on is our Google, right?
Yep.
Our
Mhm.
Google profile. Um, and right now, we restructured the whole website, so they're redoing all the SEO in the back end. And just I think it was last week we had about 15 to 20 leads that came in.
Wow.
So it's like that's our strongest platform right now. So like we sometimes it's like you spend so much time doing certain videos on IG, but you really don't see that growth until like I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe 2 years later. So like it's not in the books for me and Abram right now to be as productive, but we know we want to get there maybe next year. We want to hire someone full time to really get that organic traffic going on Instagram, on
Yeah.
Facebook. But I think we put a lot of effort and money into organically growing on the Google platform.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys track your ROI per channel? Like, do you know how much you spend on each one and where the jobs all come from?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We
So, and then
have
Google's
our
the highest, I take it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So Google and repeat clients or referrals. Every
Yeah.
single month we have a call with our social media company, with the one doing our marketing, and then our office assistant. She has a spreadsheet and she keeps track of how many clients came in through Google versus Facebook versus Instagram versus our website versus everywhere.
That's
Well,
awesome. It's
So
huge.
it's all diverse, right? You really want to, we'll probably have a few come through yard signs, and then like, we might close up one client that saw us through a yard sign. And he might be closing up for 100 grand, but that might be like one person out of that saw a yard sign in like 5 months. You start comparing that at the end of the year, and you're like, you know what, that putting out those yard signs and getting that one client was worth it.
Yep.
That's kind of like
Right.
where you start seeing your ROI. It's like, how much did I put into yard signs? I only spent $400 and I got to put out 200 yard signs. But that $400 got me $100,000 job.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of like keeping track of all that, and just kind of saying, where are we investing? Where should we invest? Right? There's obviously certain seasons that we want to invest more and some less.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
Especially
about that.
yeah.
Like for the winter, like you said, you pull your spend back. Do you have a lower ROI on the spend, and that's why you pull it back, or is the greater return just lower relative to the spend?
I want to say people are not ready to buy during the winter. They're not
Mhm.
as motivated, so you're basically burning your dollar.
Okay, so
You
it's
want
less efficient.
yeah, you want to spend your money when people are ready to buy. So
Yeah.
right now, I want to say during the months of July, August, people are out on vacations, or it's really, really hot. People are not looking to spend as much sometimes during those 2 months.
Mhm.
But right now, when the kids go back to school and the temperature drops just a little bit, they're spending a little bit more time in their back patio, to where it opens up that those thoughts of, hey, I need a patio, I want a patio. So that's where we want to come in. We're like, hey, we're dropping 2 grand this month on ad spend.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you guys are not tapping into Angie or anything like that? Angie's List?
Mm.
No?
we
No,
did in the beginning. We did
it's
in the.
it's really competitive. It's I want to say they're really bad leads. Sometimes you don't even. It's really hard to compete in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know the type of lead you're gonna get. No.
That's our number one for our company.
Yeah, that's funny.
Our
Oh, really?
ROI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have an appointment setter who calls them is like within 5 minutes or less, and they call them up to 10 times or until they say no.
Have you guys tried House?
So is House the one? No, that's Home Advisor. I have not tried House, but we just started doing Thumbtack, and that's been decent on the maintenance side.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, but have you guys done House?
We've done House as well, but same thing. The
Mhm.
leads that come in is sometimes they don't pick up. Sometimes we go out there and they're like, oh, as like I said, we're kind of like moving a little bit higher and higher with our projects size, right? So a lot of these projects that are coming into House are smaller size projects, right?
Got it.
Which worked out when we were first starting off, right? In the beginning,
Mhm.
we are like, yeah, well, let's take on the small jobs. We weren't as experienced taking on the bigger ones. So in the beginning, we did do a little bit of Angie's, a little bit of like platforms like that.
Mhm.
Just
And
kind of
there's
kick
two Angies, by the way. They have two of them now.
Angie's List, and then
Yeah, it was Angie's Leads and Angie's Ads. So we
mm,
did both to start, and Angie's Ads was far outperformed. I tracked both. We looked to see what we got from both of them, and Angie Ads far outperformed because it's a flat fee, and you just get whatever leads come in. And I think our best month was we spent 1,000 and got 47,000 in work.
okay. Now, what type of work do you guys do? Just mainly landscaping? Do you guys do maintenance?
We do both, so we're about 2/3 projects and 1/3 maintenance.
Okay, okay, nice. Any hardscaping or just mainly
Yeah,
landscape?
yeah, we do hardscaping. We do retaining walls, paper patios.
Gotcha,
I think the biggest jobs we've done are maybe around 30K. We haven't done anything crazy big.
gotcha. Now,
Who's
Forrest,
managing?
you're not in
Who's managing
Richmond,
that?
right, Forrest?
No, I'm in Atlanta. And that's where our
Ah,
business is, like Beaufort, just outside of Atlanta.
nice. What's the hardscaping name? The company name?
Blue Ribbon Landscaping.
Blue Ribbon.
Mhm.
Nice. How's the market down there?
It's good. The nice thing about down here is the ground doesn't freeze, so you can do construction projects all year round. And
That's
then
good.
the maintenance definitely dips, but
Yeah.
it doesn't fully go away. You might cut your visits in half in the winter, but you're still on coming out there every month.
Shit, yeah, that's amazing. Because here, January, February,
Shuts down, yeah.
oh my God, it's horrible.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
from Pennsylvania, so I'm very familiar.
oh,
It
Pennsylvania,
totally
yeah,
shuts down.
yeah, yeah.
You guys do
Like,
snowplow at all?
no,
Because some guys do that in the winter.
fuck that. We want to be at home. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse. I want to get banned off of this.
Right.
But no, that's kind of our time where we just like we sit back, we relax, we plan, strategize, and get ready for the spring, and that's basically what we did this year. That just the last year. We took off the 2 months. We told the guys, look, we're taking this 2 months. We're trying to organize and restructure ourselves here. So that's kind of what we're doing. But this year, we're going to be pushing through the winter as much as possible. Yep.
What's the plan for that? Because I've heard from a lot of people up further north different strategies to get through it. What are you guys thinking? Just try to get more work on the books, or some guys are thinking about getting into holiday lighting. Like, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I mean, holiday lighting. I don't know, Rafi. How do you feel about holiday lighting?
Me and Abram had a mentor, and he's doing like a million in 1 month with holiday lighting.
No
He's
way.
like, that's one of his best months out of the year. He's like, if he could do that the whole entire year, he would.
Yeah, right.
And because he's literally, I mean, it's barely any material, and it's all
Yeah.
labor. It's
Yeah.
all labor, but I mean, the profits are really really high.
Mhm.
Because he said once they have the first set of lighting, then they can reuse it for the next year, and
Yeah.
then the next year, and then the next year. But I think he's on his 7th year with the holiday lighting stuff.
Okay.
So it was
But-
early.
It's
Mhm.
So you guys you have mentors too as well in this space, right? Like,
Correct.
we did right now. Right now he got too busy. He opened up three locations, one in Florida, one in New York, and one somewhere else. So he's no longer mentoring.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did.
That's awesome. So you guys basically invested in yourself to also give it back to the community or your company. That way you guys can grow faster. How did you? I know you guys come from immigrant families, and so investing in yourself and having your dad also back you guys up. How did that make you guys feel? Was he all for it? Was he kind of against it? Because I know some of your family has those different things.
Yeah. So my dad definitely is not the type to be like, go spend 3,000 at an event, right? He's the type to be like, why are we spending this much? What are you gonna learn over there? Like, what are you gonna learn that you don't know already, right? So yeah, it's definitely that mentality clash, right? For the longest time, my dad, he was an employee, right? So he had an employee mindset, and me and my brother kind of started developing more of more of like a entrepreneur business type of mentality of like, no, we got to reinvest if we want to grow. We got to put in money for our education, because there's a lot of things that we don't know, right? And he would kind of, we would just tell him, we would be like, hey, we're going to this event next month. You want to go? And he'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. We're like, okay, we'll go. We went to the event. We'll learn stuff. We'll come back and we'll tell him, hey, we learned this, we learned that. And I remember the first time, kind of towards the beginning of the year, we went to like a ICPI course to get certified. And they taught us a whole lot of things, like you got to put fabric down, you got to excavate 12 inches more for the edge of the pavers and stuff like that for the base. And we went back to my dad and we are like, hey, we learned this. This is standard. This is what's being done in commercial. And I remember my dad was like, fabric? He was like, well, why do we need fabric? I've done this for 20-something years and I've never gotten a call back. So there was that clash. There was always that clash. And I do, now that I look back, it's like, yeah, like he's kind of, it got to the point where he trusted us with what we started doing, right?
Yeah.
It got to the point where he was like, okay, like they know what they're doing, they know what they're getting themselves into, they're wanting to learn and they're learning and they're implementing things. So slowly his mindset has been changing. But yeah, it was definitely difficult in the beginning.
Yeah, that's cool that they came around though and trusted you, and not everybody is willing to swallow a little bit of pride and say that they know what they're doing. So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome you guys did that. And you guys had a good return on investment based on his eyes.
Yeah, definitely. Now he sees everything. He's like, he sees how everything operates. Everything that we have and all the machineries and stuff. And he's like, we're efficient, right?
Awesome.
That's all because my brother actually is the one that actually started looking into the business credit. And he's the one that dove deep in that and was like, we got to build this up. And, obviously, when you first start a business, you got to personally guarantee everything, right?
Sure.
But, I remember my dad's like, that much for the machine? He's like, he would make comments like that. And now he kind of sees everything in a bigger picture.
That's good.
Yeah.
You got results back in
we're adding another machine. He's like, what?
We're like, because, me and my brother, it got to the point where we'd be like, hey, Pops, let's go buy a machine. And he's like, what? Right now? We're like, yeah, let's go take a look at them. And we'll go up to the CAT machinery and we'll be like, okay, yeah, we like this one. And we would buy it because we knew we had the money and we knew it was going to be something that was going to help us out tremendously. So it did get to that point.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I want to give Forrest here some credit too as well. He's been scaling our company together, and he understands we understand the whole process of buying machinery and truck. It's crazy. Once you start scaling it, you just spend so much money in equipment, and it gets crazy. But I want to open up the floor to Forrest. Have any last words? Because we should wrap it up here. But yeah.
No, yeah, it's really cool to see family working together. I'm sure your dad's super proud of what you guys are doing, and it's really cool to see two brothers getting after it. Really building something special. So I wish you guys the best of luck. It's badass what you guys have done.
Yeah, remind the audience how old you guys are. How old are you guys?
I'm 26.
I'm 24.
Okay, dang.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How old are you guys?
I'm 34.
I'm 33.
34.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
We're the old guys.
Y'all do not look y'all's age.
Yeah, that's the only reason I said holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest
They
looks
look like they're 40.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all are doing, keep it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you guys so much for jumping on the podcast. If someone wants to find you guys, how can they reach out to you guys?
Instagram, Rossetti Hardscapes.
Cool.
Or Googling us, Rossetti Hardscapes. Our
Leave a
phone
good
number
review.
is 04-299-5444. We're
Cool.
everywhere, Facebook, even YouTube. So just look up Rossetti Hardscapes, find the red logo, the red gorilla, and you'll know you're in the right spot.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. You have a good
Thanks,
one.
Philip. Appreciate it, man.